Good morning. In today's video, I want to give a quick update on some of the projects I have been working on over the last couple of weeks, namely the diesel heater for the greenhouse and the tractor front CarryAll. I put links in the video description down here. If you haven't seen them yet, please check them out. And let's start with the diesel heater. While it is nice and warm right now, over the last couple of days it has been really cold and I had a good chance to run the diesel heater for a few hours and see how it performs. And I can report back it is working great. It keeps the greenhouse nice and warm at around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius, even when outside temperatures drop down to around 3 to 4 degrees. And fuel consumption isn't that bad either. It burns through about a gallon of fuel for every 24 hours when it runs on the lowest setting. And while that might seem a little excessive, really we only need to run it for maybe a total of 100 to 150 hours per year or per season. So that is maybe a total of 5 to 6 gallons of fuel, and that is quite acceptable to keep the greenhouse nice and warm and the plants healthy. And diesel is of course only the fuel source for the actual heating part of it. It also needs some electricity to run the diesel pump and the little fan. And because our greenhouse is completely off-grid, I'm using a car battery for that. I put a car battery in this empty cat litter box. And this one will run the diesel pump and the little fan for anywhere between 24 and 48 hours. I just don't want to run the risk that the heater drains the battery completely, because then it would just shut off and it wouldn't allow the heater to go through its cool down cycle, and that's not really good for the heater. So here's the solution I came up with. Instead of just using one battery, I'm using two. This small one I borrowed from my lawnmower, and I have attached these connectors that go to the heater. There's two of them, so I can plug both batteries in parallel. And now, since they are both connected and power the heater, I can disconnect the bigger one. And now I can bring the bigger one back to the house and charge it up while the heater runs on the smaller one. And for about every 12-14 hours running on the bigger one, it needs to be charged for about 5 to 7 hours. And those 5 to 7 hours is something I can easily run the heater on the smaller battery. So with this method I can pretty much run the heater continuously. I run it on the bigger one overnight, and then in the morning, when I also have to refuel the heater, I swap over to the smaller battery. Then I charge the bigger one over at the house, bring it back in the evening, swap over to the bigger one while the smaller one is charging. It means I have to carry back and forth the batteries a lot, once a day, but that's not too hard. Another thing I wasn't really happy with is how my tractor front CarryAll attachment actually attached to the front forks. Initially I was trying with bungee cords and that didn't work out too great. Then I tried the ratchet straps that the viewer suggested in the comments of the video, and that worked a lot better than the bungee cords, but still not as good as I wanted it to work. What I really needed is a more form-fitting way of attaching those two elements, something where the front CarryAll cannot move in any direction off of the front forks. So this is what I came up with. I added these brackets here, and they slide over the upright portion of the front fork assembly, and then I can lock it in place with this rod, which is really a metal tube inside of a PVC tube, and I can lock them in with these pins like so. And with this it cannot slide into any direction. It cannot slide forward, cannot slide backwards, it can't even tilt off of the front forks. And of course I have that on both sides, so that locks it in place pretty good. I also added a few PVC pipes to the side, which I can now use as tool holders. And that's it for today. I know it was just a short video. I just wanted to give you those few updates. I also wanted to test my new microphone. I hope you like it. Anyway, thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.